We always have this joke, we call it, how can you, we always we say, you know, you cannot lead people if you don't know how to lead yourself. And people use the word called the self-discipline, your personal self-discipline. It's so important to be able to know, discipline yourself, and how do you lead yourself, right? Let me just see this. Okay. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. Very powerful. Do what you have to do until you can do what you want to do. You have to. You like it, you don't like it, you have to. Every morning, you like it, you don't like it, you have to wake up. Okay. Right? Then you learn to do what you want to do. Another word, quotation, I like this also very much. It says, mastering others is strength. Mastering yourself is true power. Wow. Great, huh? Excellent. Excellent quotation. Leadership talk about having followers, right? You cannot be a leader when you don't have people to follow you. And number two, you must love what you are doing. They call it the passionate passion. I always use this word passion. You must be passionate to do things. All right. Okay. Now, when we want to develop a leader, developing a leader talks about learning about yourself. There are some areas of ourselves we need to learn, we need to change, we need to better ourselves. There are some areas that we leaders, we got to watch if we want to grow as a great leader. Now, I call it leaders' blind spots. There's some area that we don't realize, what happened to us. Okay. Now, you see, number one, we call it the singular perspective. Okay. Singular perspective, or what we call as, do you know that many people, they are very focused on themselves? Every time you talk to people, they always talk about themselves. They talk about what they do, their family, what they like to eat. It's always them. I talked to people before. They asked me, hey, Alex, how are you? I just talked. Oh, I'm fine. I haven't finished what I said, maybe just 1 minute. Oh, yeah, I'm fine today. Then they jump in. You know what, Alex, I was doing this, I be blah, 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 blah. And they talk for half an hour. They talk for half an hour, everything about them. You see? There are a lot of people like that. Their focus is singular, is themselves. So one of the things that we as leaders, we got to learn is that we got to see other people. To number one, see. Number two, we understand. We try to understand people. It's my practice. Sometimes people tell me things I don't understand. I will ask them, what do you mean? When you say this thing, I ask them, what do you mean? Not being rude. I'm not rude, but I want to understand you. See, understand you. You don't talk about different culture. We Malaysian or I Chinese, and then you all Cambodian, Khmer, whatever. But let me tell you, even among close friends, families, sometimes you also need to learn to understand one another. So leaders, right? You want to be a leader, a great leader, you need to understand someone else, not only see yourself. Number two, insecurity. A lot of leaders, including people, all right, a lot of people, they are insecure. They afraid people don't like them. They're afraid that something bad will happen. Whatever they do is not good enough. Insecure, just scared, right? So they need to overcome that. Number three is ego. Is well, a little bit opposite from insecurity. Ego, proud. Without me, they cannot do it. There are people like that. So we got to watch out for some of this problem, these blind spots. Number four is weak character. Probably things like insecurity, low discipline, no discipline, and like always come late for meeting, late to work, early to go back, and job not done properly, without explaining well. All right, weak character. I believe that you all understand what I'm saying. All right. So far, are we okay? Can you give a thumbs up and show me that you are okay? All right, great. Anybody else? Leon, thank you.
Yeah, the weak character mean low performance.
Low performance, yes. Weak character, absolutely. You are right. Low performance, and also I don't expect everybody to be perfect, right? They're low performance. At least they learn to ask. We call it seek help from someone else. We have to. We have to, right?
If you don't mind, can you just give brief or any example of insecurity? Number two. In number two, insecurity.
It's clearer now, huh? Right? Insecure, okay? It's like you don't have, people have it. So what? All right, all right. Oh. Okay.
I'm okay now.
Any more question, anybody? Okay, how do we overcome blind spots? Okay, how do we overcome it? All right. Number one, we got to admit we have one problem. We have a blind spots. Probably all of us we have. Maybe ego. Ego will be like people that will say, I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong. I'm always right. You know, they will never admit that they are wrong. You know, so there's ego. All right, ego. So we got to admit that. Admit we have that problem, and we will work on that problem. You know, because people from outside can see you. That's why we call it blind spots. You know, we cannot see ourselves. People from outside can see you. And they tell you, you know, hey, you are like that, like that. Am I like that? I am not like that. You are wrong. But if more than one person say that about you, it's good time for you to sit down and think about it. Are they right? If they are right, it's time to think about it. It's time to work out something. You see, number one, admit. Number two, you see, let people identify it. People know. People can see from outside. You may not be able to see, but people can see from outside. Well, they may be wrong, maybe. But if there are more than one person, maybe there are three, maybe there are five. It's time for us to think about it.
Actually, yeah. Let's discuss point number two. Actually, we as a leader, we want to see the feedbacks, the constructive feedback from our team, because we realize that we could not see our back.
Correct.
So frequently, we ask our team to share their feedback for improvements, for better support or better result in the future. But majorly, they feel a little bit a struggle in sharing the true feedback. That I learned something from some kind of experiences, and somehow we like give them very discreet like the email they can share directly, but the result is not really good one because they feel don't want to confront to the leader, and somehow so in some way we give them the computer so that they can type kind of the feedback. So we don't know who is typing, but we put computer on our table. So when we come back from the field, so that we can see some kind of the result. So, and we don't know who writes. So we used to experience on that as well. So from your suggestion, so what is the better way so that we can enabling other to to dare to say the true feedback so that we can because it become good environments in our organization if we have those points.
One, I don't know how you feel, okay? One of the most difficult word is the word called humble. Very difficult. If you are not humble enough, it's very difficult for you to change. No matter how many people tell you. And also the focus, like I told you earlier, the focus must not be on yourself. Your focus must be on others. That's why in leadership, or rather counseling or counseling or mentoring, we have what we call as performance against potential. When you mentor someone, are you mentoring a person so that they can do a good job? Or are you mentoring a person because this person has good character, potential? You get it? You know? So we have to make it very clear. All right. Maybe I will deal a bit when we reach the training new leaders. Is that if you were to ask my opinion, I will start with this potential. Performance is not as important because when you develop a person, you help them in their personal life, right? And most likely they will do well in their performance. It also depends on what you want. You ask me, I rather develop in your personal. So I will also tell people I want to make you like me because I try my best to be like Jesus Christ. Like Paul says, be like me as I am like Christ. Potential and performance. What are you looking for? All right? So this will be some areas. Now, when you come like World Vision, you come together as a group. It's more of performance. Okay, friend, what shall we do? Okay, 2021, we have this thing, and then we have this kampong, okay, then you do, you know. But in terms of personal, one-to-one, or making new leaders, you know, yeah, it's more of a person, you know, potential. We see good potential in this guy, see, but it's not refined like a diamond, very precious but raw. We refine, we help them. See, all right? Yeah, would that help you?
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, great. Please, you know, any question you want to ask, please stop me, no problem. Okay. All right. Then number three, of course, we get help. That's why it's good that you guys are here, 10 of you, 8 of you, 10 of you. You come together and then you learn from one another. You get help, you know, because people can see you. See, we also learn to develop inner circles. We call it friends. We have good friends. Good friends, you don't need a lot. You just need one or two or maybe three. All right, 5. These people not condemn you, but they share truths to you. They're not saying that you are lousy, you are useless, you are no good, whatever. No, they're not. Your inner circle friend, you don't need people like that. What you need friends that can build you, that can help you. You share thoughts with them. You share your values with them. They help you. See, they help you. All right. So you talk to people. All of us, we need friends. Number 5 is that this is very important. We love, you know, we love one another. When we love one another, love covers multitudes of sin. We learn to accept one another, not to condemn people. You are terrible. You are useless. You know, no good. The way you behave, no good. I don't want to be your friend anymore. But rather, because we act in love, we want to help one another. We want to, you know, build up one another. Because blind spots very hard to see, man. Very, very hard. Very hard. Anybody? Any thoughts? If not, can we go on? Okay. If we can go on, I would like you all to look into, besides be selfless, we also call to be passionate, to love. Loving, passionate is like loving, not just love, but loving, attitude of loving, attitude of very happy, loving others. It doesn't matter what kind of person they are, but rather we learn to be passionate, all right, toward them. I think many of you saw that. And next one is to be compassionate. Compassionate. World Vision talk about compassionate. Sometimes life is not about you. Life is about someone else. Yeah, love in action. It's very nice and touch my heart. Love in action. Life is not about you. You watch carefully. A lot of people, they are concerned for themselves. I don't have enough. How do I feed you? It doesn't really matter whether you have enough or not. It matters whether people are full. It matters where you touch someone's life. Yeah. That is being compassionate for them. And some of you share very well, talking about be loving, we learn to trust God, see, love in action, be loving, right? That's what verses 17 to 19 talk about, loving, all right? And the last one is being generous. being generous. And all these are found in Romans chapter 12, verse 9 to 21. And probably this would be the attitude that we as leaders need to have, right, in order for us to be a better leader and to share value to people around us. Right? Now, what value? Right? Hang on, please. Hang on. All right. And values of a leader. Number one is to have a servant attitude, servanthood. Servanthood. All right. Of course, the best example about servanthood is where Jesus washing the disciples' feet. There's a real servant. I'm not expecting you to do the same like Jesus, but we learn to serve someone. Jesus serving people under him, not above him. We learn to do the same thing. We learn to serve people under us. Wow, that is a really humble experience. Really humble. Oh, all right, servant. Number two is purpose. Value is, that's what I'm trying to say just now. The why talks about value, right? Value. Why are you doing what you are doing? Why? And what you are doing? Why? If you can answer the reason, you can answer this question of why are you doing what you are doing, you are able to answer the question, what are you doing? Wow. Totally different. Purpose. You must have a clear purpose of what you want to do. The third value is integrity. Let people see how you live. Integrity. We have a word, we call it, we are called transparent, you know. Transparent. I think all of us understand the word transparency, transparent. You can see through. People can see through you. Transparent. You sometimes you want to hide something. Hide. People cannot see, so I hide. But a good leader is somebody that learn to be transparent, living a life of integrity. And good leader also learn to have good relationship. You relate well with people. Relate well. You are people, we call it, we are the people person. People person. You are not up there. You know, people cannot reach you. But rather you are with people. You lead them, yes, you lead them, you bring them, you lead them, but you are with them. You're not far away. People cannot reach you, you know. That is not good leadership. Good leaders is where you are with them. You empathize. We call it empathize. You understand them. You know their needs. You know what they need and what they want, and you lead them according to their needs. Leaders, we learn to renew. We learn things. Later we talk about that a little bit, talking about our personal devotional life. All right. We as leaders, we learn. Every day we learn something. There's no stopping from learning. It's always learning something. We renew ourselves. Renew. All right. Any questions so far? All right. If no question, I would like to right now bring you all into